Okay. So we have been studying the Abraham's course, and we are in the foundation of substance, right? Then last week, okay, so in Abraham's family, in the Abraham's family, then a central figure to restore the foundation of substance was Jacob. So of course you guys know Jacob and Esau must unite, right? So then they can restore the foundation of substance. But before the Jacob stand in the position of Abel, so he had to go through these steps. This is how the divine principle explained the Jacob's course, how he was able to set up the condition to restore that position of Abel, right? So, mainly, so we're gonna talk according to the principle explanation. So then the number one step step for him to stand the position of Abel was this one, right? The first step was to restore the birthright of the elder son. So restore the birthright from his elder son Esau. Okay, so then last week we talked about this story that Jacob bought the birthright from his elder brother Esau, right? So then the Bible said like this. Well, of course, like maybe you remember already. So then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So he swore to him. Esau swore to Jacob and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of rentiles. Then he ate and drank, arose and went his way. Right? Thus, Esau despised his birthright. So that the Bible said pretty clearly that Esau despised his birthright. Yeah, the divine principle said, like this: because Jacob highly valued the birthright, right? So that's why he did something like that, try to get the birthright by the stew or something, and the work to reclaim it from his brother. God had Isaac blessed him. So this the divine principle understanding. Yeah, that Jacob highly valued the birthright. And so therefore God had Isaac bless him. On the contrary, God did not bless Esau because he thought a little of his birthright that he traded it for a bowl of rental pottage. So so that, like a divine principle just in a one paragraph explained like this, right? So, but when you read the Bible, the story, it's a long story. And the first step was that Jacob bought the birthright from Esau by the stew, right? By the rental pottage. But of course, then as you may know, after that, actually, Jacob received the blessing from his father Isaac. So that's basically two steps. When we talk about this one, where is this one? Restore the birthright of the elder son, right? Restore the birthright of the eldest son, Esau. So this has the two steps. First step was this one, not this one. First step was this one. Yeah. So both the birthright. And the next step was to receive the blessing from Isaac. So I believe you know that, but we're gonna read the Bible today. Pretty much reading the Bible. It's a long story, but actually interesting and very important. Okay, so this is the second step of restoring their birthright from Jacob, from the Jacob's elder brother Esau. Okay, so this is a Genesis 27:1. It's going to be long, but sorry, bear with me. Right now, it came to pass. Actually, this is a kind of, we are not so sure, but according to the Reverend Jackson's Bible study, the Jacob received the blessing from Esau, no, from Isaac, right? Jacob received the blessing from Isaac, his father. Many, many years after he bought the birthright from his elder brother Esau. Okay, so some kind of like a time period there. But okay, so let's read. Now it came to pass. Yeah, it came to pass after the story of the buying the Esau's birthright, right? A long time. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Esau his older son and said to him, "Behold, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now, therefore, please take your weapons. Go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." So this blessing is very important, you know. So that this is a blessing, and when once Esau received this blessing, then Esau has the official right to inherit everything from his father. Everything, basically everything, authority, wealth, and people there, that will be the Esau. Okay, so this is like official ceremony for their inheritance. Now, okay, let's continue. Now Rebecca, right? Rebecca, Esau and Jacob's mother, Rebecca was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau, his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So, right? So Father Isaac told Esau to get the food, to make a food for him. So Esau went out, right, to hunt the animal. So Rebecca spoke to Jacob, her son. Her son, okay, Esau was her son too, but so Rebecca spoke to Jacob, right, the Esau's younger brother, saying, "Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you." Rebecca said, "Yeah, go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death." Yeah, so mother Rebecca is saying to his son, younger one, Jacob, "Now you go out, then get the goat, then I will cook for your father, so that you can receive the blessing from your father instead of your elder son," right? Like that. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "Look, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will feed me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him. And I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing." Right? So Jacob was afraid to do that because Esau is a hairy man, Jacob was a smooth man. So, that if Isaac touched Jacob, then he knows, he will know that is not Esau, but that is Jacob. Jacob was saying, "You can't deceive my father like this," right? So then Rebekah said, but his mother said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice and go, get them for me." I like this. Strong, yeah? That Rebekah said to him. Let your curse be on me. And that's a pretty strong determination. You can see that Rebecca, like, okay, I will receive the curse. Like that for them, this, like a blessing or curse, right? It's pretty big for them. It's pretty big, not like us. Not like us, right? So for them, that is pretty big things, right? So then she said, it's like that your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, okay? I will take any kind of responsibility if something went wrong, and like that. If you may receive their curse, then I will take everything, right? That's what Rebecca said. So she said, get them for me. And he went, right? Jacob went and got them. And his mother made savory food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, his younger son. Yeah, and she put the skins of the kids of the goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savory food and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. Right, so that's you may know this story, but this is a story. So he went to his father and said, "My father," and he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my gain, that your soul may bless me." But Isaac said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?" And he said, "Because the Lord your God brought it to me." Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." Intense, it's an intense story. So Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." Oh my God. Isaac, he must be very old, right? Okay, anyway, what is this? Okay, so that's what he said. And he did not recognize him. Oh my God. Because his hands were hairy, like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. So that Isaac blessed Jacob. Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He said, "I am." Yeah, that's it's pretty intense story here, Okay, this is a picture. This is just a picture. All right. Isaac said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's gain, so that my soul may bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near now and kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his clothing, and blessed him and said, "Surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. Surely the," okay, already just finished. The next 29. "Let people serve you, and the nations bow down to you. Be master over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you." So this is a blessing. So that's how the Isaac blessed Jacob, right? So this is a story. So Rebekah and Jacob deceived, the Isaac, and the Jacob was able to gain their blessing from the Isaac. But that's a story. This is a story. Now, so when Jacob bought Esau's birthright, they were 40 years old, about 40 years old. Basically, father said that they were 40 years old, right? So that is in their father's, many father's speech. So then at that time, Isaac was 100 years old. When Esau and Jacob was 40, Isaac was 100. Isaac was 100 years old. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Then when Jacob received the blessing from his father Isaac, he was around 76 years old. So this is from the Reverend Jackson's talk. Then in that case, Isaac was 136 years old, right? So Isaac was very old. Then actually Isaac died when he was 180 years old. So this is pretty amazing. So, okay, but anyway, the one point is this, that's when Jacob received the blessing from Isaac, so Jacob was 76 years old, so pretty old, right? Then, both both Esau and Jacob was pretty old, 76 years old people, okay? So that when they are that age, then this happened. Now, let's continue. Again, let's read this one again. This is a divine principle. I already read this one, but let's read again, right? Because Jacob highly valued the birthright and worked to claim it from his brother, God had Isaac bless him. This is the divine principle's viewpoint, right? So Jacob was able to gain the birthright from Esau when he was 40. Then after that, many years later, actually he was able to receive Isaac's blessing, right? Father's blessing, official blessing, saying that you are going to inherit everything from me. Then all other brothers or everybody will bow down to you, right? So that's how God had Isaac bless him, Jacob. Why? The divine principle said because Jacob highly valued the birthright, but Esau was not. Esau did not really, was not like that. Okay, so that's from this is the principle viewpoint. The principle is basically, like give us the idea why this happened and how this is the important event for God's providence, right? Okay, let me see if I have something. Okay, maybe before I explain more, keep reading a little bit. Esau's lost hope. Now it happened as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also had made savory food and brought it to his father and said to his father, let me, father, arise and eat of his son's gain, that your soul may bless me. And his father Isaac said to him, who are you? And so he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed. Now, blessing is pretty serious things, right? So when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, bless me also, O my father. But Isaac said, your brother came with deceit and has taken away your blessing. Yeah. He knew, even your brother Jacob came with a deceit, but he is the one who got the blessing. That's Isaac said. And Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now look, he has taken away my blessing. And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Esau was crying out, Right? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, indeed, I have made him your master, and all his brethren I have given to him as servants. With grain and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do now for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing? My father, bless me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right. So this is a Bible story. Right? This is a story. So that's why that, you know, like, I mean, there's such a kind of, how can I say, such a horrible story, you know? It's a pretty horrible. So then therefore, up until today, that Jacob was known as a deceiver. You know, Jacob, right? Our understanding is totally different. You know, Father said Jacob is the only one who succeeded his mission. You know, only one in the entire human history. He is the only one, except true father and the true mother, right? So, but from a regular or normal viewpoint, that the Jacob is their deceiver. Nobody knew Jacob's mission as person who was standing the position of evil. Nobody knew that. The mission, nobody knew the mission of restoring the foundation of substance. That is Jacob's job. And the mission of establishing the foundation for the Messiah. So this is Jacob's job, Jacob's mission. Nobody knew that, right? Unless we understand the principle of restoration, right? Unless we understand that those people are the chosen to establish the foundation for the Messiah. And on that foundation, only on that foundation, God could send the Messiah, his son, only begotten son, right? So that's a principle. Then actually up until today, nobody knew it, nobody. So that's, unless we understand that kind of viewpoint, we never understand what was the Jacob's mission. Yeah. So that's, you know, therefore our understanding of Jacob is pretty much totally different from anybody else. Nobody, I mean, nobody know this, you know, nobody had this kind of viewpoint. Even though we call God, you know, we know that God called himself that this is a God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, right? Even though God is like that, then however, like we really did not know about, you know, about the Jacob's true mission. What happened, what was happening with Jacob? We didn't know, right? So, so Jacob looks like he's a really bad deceiver, together with the Rebecca. Okay? Yeah, that's a regular view. However, when we understand that when we understand the true like a providential meaning of Jacob's cause, then we understand the meaning of this story. You know, that's a very unique kind of understanding. Unique. Then you know, maybe we know this. Oh, let me see. Rebecca, you know, that's right. This is one of the mother-son cooperation. Divine Prince was saying the mother-son cooperation. Cooperation. The mother help son, right? So that's a kind of the. I think in a few times even in the Divine Principle book, it talk about the mother-son cooperation. So mother's mission, the Rebecca's responsibility, or how Rebecca helped Jacob was remarkable. Because when we read this kind of story, right, that we just read, then you see that Jacob was not convinced. Jacob wasn't. You know, Jacob was 76 years old. I mean, you know, I mean, just a really great grown man, right? But then, of course, yes, Jacob bought the birthright from Esau, when he was around 40 years old. But when the blessing from Isaac was coming to the Esau, right? Rebekah is the one who decided or determined to get the blessing from Isaac instead of his brother. This by deceiving his father, deceiving Isaac, Jacob's father, deceiving the Esau, the Jacob's elder brother, right? Deceiving them, but so she determined to get it. Why? So why she really determined to do that, right? That's kind of mysterious thing, but one thing is very clear, or one or two things. One thing is that Rebekah still remember that God or angel told her when Esau and Jacob were in the Rebekah's womb. God clearly said, younger or older will serve the younger. The younger will be blessed, right? So that is the revelation she got from God. Also, then she never forget that. Then when she looked at the Esau and Jacob, right? I mean, Bible said very simply that Rebekah loved Jacob, and Isaac loved his elder son Esau, right? So, but why the reason why Rebekah loved Jacob was not only the God's revelation, that when she saw Jacob, then the Jacob had some kind of the character or quality that so he will be the one who can inherit the Abraham and Isaac's faith tradition, So that's her viewpoint is that internal aspect. Her viewpoint is that the who can really inherit the faith tradition, or that understand the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac, right? So that is the Rebekah's viewpoint. Then Isaac was different. Isaac loved Esau because Isaac loved the meat, So that was the situation. Okay, anyway, so that's how Rebekah helped the Jacob, right? So okay, one thing is this. One thing. Many people, well, I don't know many people, even though like we gave the principal viewpoint of this story, right? But however, then the Jacob, the deception was justified, Well, yeah, I mean, why this happened? Because no other choice, no other way at the time. It was no other way. Otherwise, his elder brother Esau will receive the blessing from his father, right? Then in that case, God's plan will be ended. God's plan will be ended. That's it. If Esau received blessing from his father, then that's not good. That's the end of God's restoration, centering on the Abraham's family, right? So of course, like Rebekah did not know in detail. However, Rebekah knew that should not happen very clearly. That's why, so she determined, even though she may receive their costs, but that she decided to do this kind of thing at the time, right? So that Rebekah was very serious, and Jacob united with the Rebekah, right? Then they did this one, right? So this was necessary at the moment, because otherwise his elder brother Esau would be receiving the blessing from his father, right? But actually, father said, well, this was not necessary, 100% in the one sense. This was not necessary. Why? If before that happened, if Jacob was already respected by his elder brother and the Isaac and Rebekah, I mean those family, that's if they knew, or if they already decided as a family, that Jacob should be the one who received the blessing from Father, right? That means that before they get this point, like almost Isaac is dying, then Isaac was still planning to give blessing to the elder brother Esau. Right before that happened, Jacob could have achieved his mission, which is the restoration of their birthright in true sense. I mean that the elder brother Esau surrendered to Jacob. That happened like 21 years later, right? That happened, but like a similar things could have happened before this happened. Actually, already the Jacob has a respect from his elder brother, and the father and the mother both understand that, and this is the one who should inherit everything, including the faith tradition. So that could have happened if that was like that. If the Jacob was like that, Jacob was mature enough in many ways so that the elder brother respect his younger brother Jacob. Then in that case, this did not have to happen, right? Did not have to happen. So that was the one thing that Father said. This was not 100% a necessary thing. Why this happened? Because Jacob wasn't ready to be such a great able figure yet. However, time goes, then and of course I don't know, like the Isaac getting old and Isaac's parent, so he had to now give a blessing to his son, elder son, right? So that's a time limit there. So therefore, that they had to go through this kind of things. Yeah. So this basically this course is like entire Jacob's course is the course of the bringing the natural surrender of Satan or natural surrender of Cain. So that's a Jacob's course, or basically that is Abel's course, Abel's responsibility. He is to bring the natural surrender of Cain, which is a representative of Satan's force, right? So that is the always Abel's responsibility. Bring the natural surrender of Cain, Satan. Yeah. So Jacob's responsibility was that. Yeah. However, when this happened, Jacob was not ready for that. Jacob wasn't mature enough. Jacob was not good enough or qualified to become the victorious Abel. So that's why they had to go through this one. Therefore, Rebekah and Jacob had to go through this one, deceiving his father, deceiving his elder brother. So that kind of thing. Otherwise, what? Otherwise, if this doesn't happen, then if Isaac just blessed the Esau, then there is no foundation of substance. Like unity, we say Cain and Abel unity, or Jacob and Esau's unity, right? Unity is necessary to restore the foundation of substance, but that's not the simple unity. The subject should be very clear. Subject should be the younger brother. Centering on the younger brother, then the younger brother and the elder brother must unite. That is their foundation of substance, right? So even they may unite, but if that is a centering on the elder brother Cain, then no meaning, that's no meaning. So centering on Jacob, those Jacob and Esau must unite. Jacob has to restore the elder son position. Jacob stand above the elder brother Esau, then unite, right? Because Jacob is standing the God's side, then Esau is standing the Satan's side, right? That's why it's not centering on the Esau, who is standing the Satan's side. The unity has to be the centering on the Abel. Unity has to be the centering on the Jacob in this case, who is standing the God's side. right? God side person is the center. Then unite. That kind of unity is necessary. Then how can you do that? That is this one, natural surrender of Satan. So that the Jacob or able type person has to bring the natural surrender of Satan. I mean, by serving or loving, whatever, no, you do everything for that, then bring the respect from the elder brother, right? This bring or gain the respect and the love from the elder brother. So that is the course, you know, the every person who stand the average position must go through that kind of course. Okay, again, so Jacob was not mature enough at the time, even though he was pretty old, you know. So then that's why Jacob had to go through the indemnity course, basically. You know, that the 21 years course is basically the you know, some kind of, if we say indemnity course, or he needed to have that kind of course to mature himself, grow himself, you know, so that eventually Jacob had the internal capacity or internal qualification to bring this natural surrender of Satan. In this case, natural surrender of Esau, right? So then that happened eventually after 21 years course. Yeah. So so that from this viewpoint, then we understand why Jacob needed the 21-year course. Of course, maybe many meaning, you know. Then yeah, that we may go through that one next time. But there are maybe several kind of aspects of it. But the main thing is Jacob needed to grow internally, you know, then be ready to stand their average position, you know, according to the divine principle understanding, right? These things are the condition for Jacob to stand the average position. That means basically major thing, main things in there is that Jacob's internal qualification to become the victorious able. So that thing, this time, right? This when he received the blessing from Isaac, Jacob was not very good enough, was not good enough internally. Yeah. So maybe, but he could, right? As Father said, he could be good enough. Then already, you know, if the elder brother surrendered to Jacob, then he did not have to do this, but he was not. So, but after 21 years course, then Jacob grew a lot, right? So he internally, so he changed that. And Jacob became a really kind of, you know, restore the qualification to be the to become the able, to stand able's position. Yeah. So right. So I mean, that's always like this. You know what I mean? So like that's we are not like, you know, like sometimes I know some people struggle with this story. You know, even though we may understand Jacob's mission, but what Jacob did was deceiving. He's a liar, right? He deceived his father. Then Rebecca also deceived his her husband. You know, so that you know that like when you just understand the divine principle a little bit shallowly, so then people may think, oh, you know, we are justifying the deception. Can we justify this kind of action, you know, that basically now, right? No, this is a kind of like the exceptional, desperate situation there in order to gain the victory on their God's providence. You know, they actually they have to do this. Why? Because the central figure was not good enough. Central figure Jacob was not mature enough. That's why they had to go through this one. You know. So, but this was not, you know, like the course God liked. So that's one thing like we need to learn. I think, I don't know you guys, but you know what I mean, like, because sometimes the purpose can justify the mean. Is that the English? The good purpose justify the mean. I mean, if you have a good purpose, good motivation, then some kind of deception could be justified, Actually, like when we are young, when the first generation was young, when we are young, we kind of sometimes or many times tend to think that way. Because we are doing God's will, some kind of deception might be justified. You know what I mean? So that kind of very kind of shallow, immature understanding of God's providence, or immature understanding of what? How can I say it? Anya, I hope you understand. Okay, that's we went through this one. I mean, we tend to justify our wrongdoings by saying, okay, we are doing God's will. Nobody knows. We know God's will. We are doing God's will. So some kind of a deception or some kind of lying to people should be okay or justified, right? So that kind of like the very immature understanding sometimes came from that, this story. So, this kind of a story, Jacob, even the Jacob deceived his father, in order to fulfill his mission, right? Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yes, he had to go through this one because it was no other way at that time. He did it, but that was not good. Actually, he could do better. Jacob could do better without deceiving anybody. He was supposed to fulfill it. Without deceiving anybody, he could do that. Then that is the things that we need to do, right? So that's a very important thing. But sometimes like God had to do this one, when he got desperate. Yeah, because if he and Rebecca didn't do that, then God's providence ended right there. So that in that kind of desperate situation, God had to do this one. However, then that's not okay. Because Jacob did this, then Jacob had to go through the indemnity cost for this one. Because he deceived somebody, that's why he had to go through the indemnity cost, which was he would be deceived by people, right? Jacob was deceived by his uncle so many times, that kind of a cost, right? Why? Because he did this one. That's why, so he had to learn or indemnify it, or he had to learn, what is being deceived, how do you feel, right? So he had to go through it. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of things in the Jacob's course. Even though Jacob's course was a victorious course, Jacob is the only one who gained the victory, total victory, but his course was not smooth, lots of bumpy road, and he, from an immature state, so he became the mature person. He went through a lot, right? And eventually, so he became victorious. So anyway, that is today's story. Okay.